Hello, sixth graders. Today we're working with samples and surveys. Pretty much what this means is we're going to be taking a look at several different graphs and analyzing them and answering questions with those graphs. It's actually really easy as long as you take the time to look at the graph, take the time to read the passage before the graph that describes the graph, and then you're ready to go. I'll show you an example here. Take a look. A lot of you might be overwhelmed when you see something like this. There is a paragraph above, and then we have a graph with a bunch of numbers on it. Let's read the paragraph above that describes the graph. It says a sample of 2,000 working adults was surveyed to determine how much time they spend performing certain weekly activities and how much time they prefer to spend on these activities. So how much time it takes and how much time they would like it to take. For example, the average time adults spend on household chores is 4 hours and 50 minutes, while the average time they prefer to do household chores is 2 hours and 30 minutes. That makes complete sense, right? So at home, if your parents or whoever you live with at home tells you to clean your room, it really takes you an hour. You wish it would take you 5 minutes. Okay. The survey results are shown in the side-by-side graph below. So the title of this graph is Actual versus Preferred Times for Daily Activities. These are the different things with the times. It says commuting to work, so going to work. It actually takes 2 hours. These people wish it would take 40 minutes. Working on the job. It actually takes 8 hours. They wish it took 6 hours. Sleeping. It actually is 7 hours. They wish it was 9. That's funny, that was longer. Visiting with family and friends. Actual time is less than what they actually prefer. So you kind of get the idea. Let's answer some questions with this and see. Once you break it down, it's pretty easy. Let's take a look at this next one. It says, what is the actual time spent pursuing interests and hobbies? Well, we're looking for actual time here. So with the actual time, we're looking here. The actual time is your dark color. So then we're going to go to pursuing interests and hobbies. We're here at pursuing interests and hobbies. The actual time is 30 minutes. So easy. But if you didn't actually read the question, if you didn't really see what's on that graph or describe the graph, it makes no sense. Let's keep going. How much time would adults prefer to spend pursuing interests and hobbies? So the key word here is prefer, which means they are in the light bar. Pursuing interests and hobbies is right here. So then I just pick the light bar, which is 1 hour and 20 minutes. Once again, it is not hard. It is not challenging. It just takes the time to analyze the chart. Next one. New color. What is the difference between the actual time and preferred time for doing household chores? Keyword here, difference. So we're going to be subtracting these things. So where are we at? Household chores. Household chores. I'm at 4 hours and 50 minutes for the actual time. The preferred time is 2 hours and 30 minutes. Now you've probably have your own method of working with time and how you can find the difference. Time is a little tricky. So here, if you were to stack 4 hours and 50 minutes on top of 2 hours and 30 minutes, and you were to subtract, you actually get the correct answer. But that doesn't always work because you can't just stack these numbers because you're going out of 60 minutes in an hour. Compared to when you normally subtract, it's always out of 100 or out of tens, okay? So this is how I do it. I need to try and get this number, 2 hours and 30 minutes, all the way up to this number, which is 4 hours and 50 minutes. So I just kind of take my time and add numbers to here. So I'm going to start with the hours. If I'm at 2 hours and I have to get to 4 hours, I'm going to add 2 hours to this time. So now my total on the right side over here is 4 hours and 30 minutes. I have to try and get to 4 hours and 50 minutes. So that tells me what else do I have to add? I have to add another 20 minutes. Once I add that other 20 minutes, over there in my box to the right, I have 4 hours and 50 minutes. To the left, I have 4 hours and 50 minutes. So that means my answer is 2 hours and 20 minutes. You kind of notice how I just kind of took my time. I added hours first, and then I added minutes until I got to the number I was trying to get to. For this survey, researchers interviewed every 25th rider who boarded a commuter train on a Monday morning. Do you think this sampling method provides a random or biased sample? So what we want to know is, does this chart kind of tell us about all adults? Well, everyone in this survey rode the train. I like the randomness of every 25th person, but they all rode the train. Now, when we live out here in Glenwood, none of us took a train to work or to school. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. They only surveyed the people on train. Some people ride bikes. Some will walk. Some will run, which I wouldn't do because I'd be sweaty by the time I get here. Some people drive their own car. Some people carpool. Some will take the bus. Some will fly. I don't know. Maybe Superman's in the lesson. But what I want you to know is no. The sampling method provides, it isn't random, okay? Because there's more ways to get to work than just the train. So that's not real accurate. That's why. It's kind of a tricky one. That's probably the only tricky one. We're doing some division here. Yes, we are taking the time to do some division. So let's take a look here. We have $700 divided by 10. Well, if I just simply wrote it like this, 700 divided by 10, you can go over the method I've been teaching you lately. You can just cross off the zeros when you're dividing. So we're left with 70 divided by 1, okay, which would equal 70. 7 divided by 1 is 7. Carry the 0 over here. But when you're working with a decimal, it's really cool. Dividing by 10, we can just move this decimal one place value point. So 70 is also your answer. I'm going to show you that trick. Let's say I was dividing $700 divided by 100. I would move it 2 spots. So the answer is 7. Think about it. If you have $700 divided by 100 people, every person would get $7. Let's look at this next one here. So we have $84.50 divided by 10. Just move the decimal one spot. Boom. Answer is $4.45. Only works when you're dividing by 10, 100, or 1,000 with decimals. $259.20. If I'm dividing by 10 again, I'm just going to take this decimal and I'm going to move it over to this spot right here. So my answer is $25.92. A lot of you have been struggling with division. Not all of you, a lot of you. Let's see how we're going to do this. How many times does 12 go into number 6? 0 times. 12 times 0, 0. I'm going to subtract. I got a 6. I'm bringing down the 4. Next round. How many times does 12 go into 64? I don't know. Actually, I do know. But I'm going to show you the thought process behind it. 12 times, if I go 5, that would get me pretty close. I want to get as close to 64 as possible. So I'm going to go times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. Yes, that got as close as I could. Subtract. Oh, I forgot to put the 5 up top. 12 goes in there 5 times. Put the 5 up. 12 times 5 is 60. Carry this down. I got a 4. Bringing down the 2. New color, so you understand my thought process. How many times does 12 go into 42? 12 times 4 would be way too big because 12 times 10, or 10 times 4 is 40. So I'm going to go times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. So put a 3 up top. 12, 3 is 36. 36. I'm going to subtract. I've got a 6 here. There's no other numbers to bring down. So this 6 comes all the way up to be my remainder 6. There's my answer. Please take your time on today's math lesson. It's a really easy lesson as long as you take the time to analyze the graphs, see what each question's actually answering or asking, maybe even underline or circle some certain parts of that question so you understand what it's asking or what to look for. Good luck. Hopefully this helps with your math lesson today.